I still remember that night, the cold air, the sound of laughter behind the door that used to feel like home. My key turned too easily, like the world was inviting me to witness my own destruction. "Lena?" I called, stepping into the apartment. "You home?" No answer. Just soft music and a voice that wasn't mine. I froze when I heard her laugh. That laugh. The one she used to save for me. "Babe, you're gonna wake the neighbors," a man said. "Babe." My stomach twisted. I took a step forward, my voice barely a whisper. "Lena?" The laughter stopped. Then I saw her, wrapped in someone else's arms, Damon, from her office. His hand on her waist like he owned her. She pulled away fast, her eyes wide. "Ethan, what are you doing here?" "What am I doing here?" My voice cracked. "This is my apartment, Lena. Our apartment." Damon had the nerve to smirk. "Guess I should go," he said, buttoning his shirt. "You think?" I snapped. My hands were shaking. "Get out before I forget I was raised right." He muttered something under his breath, but left. The door slammed and silence filled the room. I turned to her. "How long?" She crossed her arms. "Does it matter?" "It matters to me," I said. "I loved you." She sighed like I was being dramatic. "Ethan, you're a good guy, but you're too simple." "You don't want more." "Damon does. He gets me. Gets you?" I laughed, but it sounded broken. "You mean he's rich?" Her lips tightened. "You wouldn't understand." I stepped closer, my chest heavy. "I gave you everything I had. My time, my trust, my heart. You said that was enough." "Well, it isn't," she said flatly. "I'm tired of waiting for your someday. I want a life now." "And you couldn't just say that?" She looked away. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this." "You didn't mean for me to find out at all," I said. "You just wanted me to keep paying rent while you played house with him." Her jaw tightened. "You're being unfair." "Unfair?" I said. "You cheated on me in my own home." She folded her arms again. "I didn't cheat. We were drifting apart." "You're unbelievable." "I'm being honest," she said. "You'll thank me one day." I stared at her. "Thank you? For tearing me apart?" Her voice softened. "You'll move on, Ethan. You're strong." "You'll be fine." I wanted to scream, to throw something, but all I could do was whisper, "No, I won't." She picked up her purse, not meeting my eyes. "I'm sorry." "No, you're not." The door clicked behind her, and I was alone. The room felt empty, like everything good in it had walked out with her. I sank to the floor, my breath shaking. My phone buzzed. Ryan. I almost ignored it, but I answered. "Hey, dude, you sound awful." "What happened?" "She cheated," I said, my voice flat. "With Damon, from her job." A pause. Then, "You sure?" "I saw it. I walked in on them," he cursed under his breath. "I'm coming over." "No, don't. I just need to think." "You shouldn't be alone right now," he said. "Come to my place." I stared at the ceiling. "I can't even stand up," he sighed. "Then I'm bringing beer. We'll sit in silence and hate the world together. Sound good?" Despite the pain, I almost smiled. "Yeah, sure." "Ethan, listen to me," he said. "She doesn't deserve your tears. You'll see one day this'll make you stronger." "I don't want to be stronger," I said. "I just want her back." "She left," he said firmly. "Let her stay gone." The line went quiet for a second. "Ryan?" "Yeah? Do you think she ever loved me?" He hesitated. "Maybe she did, but not the way you loved her." I swallowed hard. "Then what's the point of love if it ends like this?" He sighed. "The point is you'll live through it. And when you do, you'll realize she didn't break you. She freed you." I didn't believe him. Not then. But I said him thanks. He said, "I'll be there in 10, and hung up. I sat in the dark, staring at the door she walked through. My hands still smelled like the paint from the apartment we'd built together. My heart felt like it was still in her hands, crushed between her fingers. That was the night I learned something about love. It doesn't always end with goodbye. Sometimes it ends with silence, and silence hurts more than anything. The first morning without her felt like a hangover I couldn't shake. The bed smelled like her perfume, but she was gone. Ryan called nonstop. I ignored every ring until my phone died. When he finally showed up, he didn't knock. "You look like hell," he said, stepping over the takeout boxes. "I feel worse," I muttered, sitting on the couch. He grabbed the empty beer cans and sighed. "You've been like this for a week, man. You need to get out." "Out where?" She's everywhere, Ryan, every street, every song. Then pick a new street, he said. Or at least shower before it rains indoors. I managed a weak laugh, but it vanished fast. I can't believe I didn't see it. Damon was right there the whole time. Ryan sat across from me. You loved her. That's not blindness, that's trust. She broke it. That's on her. I stared at my hands. She said I wasn't enough. He leaned forward. You were enough for the wrong person. That doesn't make you less. I didn't answer. The room felt heavy, like grief was another body sitting between us. The next day at work, I couldn't focus. Blueprints blurred into nothing. Cole! Mr. Harlow's voice snapped me back. He was standing by my desk, arms crossed. Can I have a word? I followed him to his office, heart pounding. He closed the door. You've been off lately. Missed deadlines, wrong drafts, no communication. I'm sorry, sir. Personal issues. He studied me for a long moment. I know breakups can mess a man up, but talent like yours doesn't belong in a pity party. You either show me the Ethan I hired, or I'll have to find someone who can. That hit harder than I expected. You're right, I said quietly. He nodded. Take a day. Get your head straight. Then come back and build something worth remembering. When I left his office, I didn't feel angry. I felt ashamed. That evening, Ryan dragged me to a cafe near the river. He ordered for both of us. Coffee for you, no beer. You're detoxing from heartbreak, not auditioning for rock bottom. I rolled my eyes. You make it sound easy. It's not, he said. But sitting in the dark waiting for her to regret it won't fix you. She won't regret it, I said bitterly. She's with Damon. He has everything I don't. Money doesn't mean peace, he said. You think she'll find happiness in his wallet? Give it time. I wanted to believe him. I didn't. A week later, fate decided to mock me. I saw them, Lena and Damon, at the plaza downtown. She looked radiant, laughing, holding his arm like nothing ever happened. Ryan spotted them too. Do you want to leave? No, I said, forcing myself to breathe. Not this time. Lena noticed me before I could look away. Her smile faltered. Damon followed her gaze and smirked. Ah, the ex-boyfriend, he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Still wearing the same jacket? I clenched my fists. Nice to see you've upgraded your personality with your paycheck, he chuckled. Careful, buddy. Envy doesn't suit you. Lena stepped forward slightly. Ethan, maybe you should go. I met her eyes. Don't worry. I already did. I walked away before my voice could break. Ryan caught up to me a few blocks later. You okay? I stopped, staring at the streetlights. No, but I'm done feeling sorry for myself. That sounded dramatic. You sure? I'm sure, I said. I'm not going to chase ghosts anymore. I'm going to build something new. For me, he smiled. That's the Ethan I know. That night, I cleaned my apartment. Threw out the pictures, the clothes she left, even the stupid mug with her initials. Each piece felt like pulling glass out of my chest. When I was done, the place looked empty, but I finally could breathe. I looked out the window at the city lights and whispered, You wanted more, Lena? So will I, but I'll earn it. For the first time in weeks, I didn't feel broken. I felt hungry, not for her, for redemption. Ryan banged on my door at 7 a.m. Get up, you're coming with me, I groaned. It's Saturday, exactly. No excuses, he said. You've moped enough. Time to live again? I rubbed my face. Ryan, I've been living. Bro, eating cereal for dinner doesn't count as living. I sighed. What are you dragging me into this time? He grinned. Work. Harlow just called me. He wants you on a new project, something big. I frowned. He called you? Because you ignore everyone, he said, tossing me my jacket. Now move. At the office, Mr. Harlow was waiting near the model tables. Ethan, he said, smiling faintly. You look better than last month. That's not saying much, I muttered. He chuckled. Fair, sit down, I did. What's the project? He slid a folder toward me. A private mansion for an international client. They asked for something modern but alive. Something that breathes. I opened the folder. The specs were insane. Cliffside property, ocean view, glass structures. It was beautiful. He watched me. I thought of you the moment they called. You see buildings differently. You feel them, I hesitated. Sir, are you sure I'm ready? My last draft had mistakes. You're not ready, he said. You're rusty. But this will fix that, Ryan elbowed me. Translation, stop whining and say yes. I sighed, but a small smile crept in. All right, I'll do it, Mr. Harlow nodded. Good, you have 6 weeks. Surprise me. When we left the office, Ryan grinned. Told you. You needed this. I'm terrified, I admitted. Good, he said. Fear means you care again. That night, I sat at my desk for hours, pencil in hand, blank paper staring back. I hadn't drawn anything in months. My hand trembled at first. Then a line appeared, then another, and suddenly my thoughts poured out, angles, curves, light. I didn't stop until sunrise. The next morning, Ryan called. You sound weird. You okay? I think, I said slowly. I remember what it feels like to breathe. He laughed. That's the Ethan I know. Days turned into weeks. Work filled the spaces grief used to occupy. I ran every morning, drank too much coffee, and ignored every memory of Lena that tried to sneak in. One afternoon, Mr. Harlow stopped by my workstation. You've been here late every night, he said. I just want to get it right, I told him. He nodded. You're getting there. Ryan leaned over from the next table. Translation, it's good enough to make the client cry. I smirked. You're enjoying this way too much. Watching you actually function again? Yeah, it's great TV. When I finally finished the model, Harlow called me into his office. He stood by the window, staring at the renderings. This, he said quietly, is the best work you've ever done. I blinked. You really think so? I know so, he said. You built more than a house here. You built yourself back up. That line hit me harder than I expected. Later that night, Ryan and I grabbed dinner at a diner near the river. So, he said, chewing a fry, you're back. I'm getting there. He grinned. No mention of she who shall not be named in weeks. Progress. I chuckled. You mean Lena? Don't ruin the spell, he said. She doesn't deserve airtime. I took a sip of coffee. You're right. She doesn't. For a while, we just sat in silence. The city lights reflected off the glass. You know, he said finally, it's funny. You were ready to give up everything for her. I know. And now you're about to design something people will talk about for years. I smiled faintly. Guess pain builds better foundations than comfort. He raised his cup. To foundations, then. I clinked mine against his. To rebuilding. When I got home that night, I looked at my sketches spread across the table. Each line felt like a heartbeat, steady and alive. For the first time in months, I didn't feel empty. I felt ready. I didn't know what the world had planned next, but I knew this. Whatever came, I'd face it standing tall, because I wasn't the same man she left behind, not anymore. The envelope sat on my kitchen table like a ghost from the past. Cream paper, gold lettering, and my name printed too perfectly. Ryan stared at it. Tell me that's not what I think it is. It is, I said, sliding it toward him. He opened it, scanned the inside, and groaned. An engagement party? You've got to be kidding me. Lena and Damon, I said flatly. Quite the match, he tossed it back. Burn it, delete it. Pretend it never existed. I should, I said, though I didn't move. But part of me wants to go. Ryan blinked. Why? You want to watch two snakes toast each other? I leaned back. No, I just want them to see me. To see what they lost, he exhaled sharply. Ethan, don't give them that satisfaction. It's not for them, I said quietly. It's for me, he frowned. Then wear something that says, I survived your betrayal and built an empire. I laughed, the first genuine laugh in days. You're ridiculous. I'm serious, he said. If you're walking into that room, walk in like a storm. The night of the party, I stood in front of my mirror, straightening my tie. The reflection didn't look like the man who'd once begged Lena to stay. This version of me had sharper eyes, steadier hands. Ryan's voice echoed in my head. Walk in like a storm. When I arrived, the hotel lobby glowed with chandeliers and music. Laughter floated through the air like perfume. I checked my phone, no turning back now. At the entrance, a woman in a sleek black dress smiled at me. Name? Ethan Cole, I said. She glanced at the list, then looked up. Ah, the architect. Welcome, Mr. Cole, I raised a brow. You know me? She smiled. Elena Brooks, event planner. Lena mentioned you. Of course she did, I said dryly. Elena tilted her head. You don't seem thrilled to be here. Let's just say I came out of curiosity. She chuckled softly. Then you're braver than most. Inside, the ballroom shimmered with gold. People mingled, glasses clinked, music played. And there, at the center, stood Lena. Her laughter was the same, but when her eyes met mine, the color drained from her face. Ethan? She said, voice thin. Hey, Lena, I said evenly. Long time. Damon turned, his grin fading. Didn't expect to see you here. I got an invitation, I said. Didn't want to be rude, he smirked. Still holding on to old memories, huh? I smiled faintly. Not really. Just wanted to see what mediocrity looks like in a tux. A few guests nearby stifled laughter. Damon's jaw tightened. Lena forced a smile. You look different. I am, I said. Success tends to change people. Her gaze flicked to my tailored suit, the watch on my wrist. I heard you're working on that cliffside project. Finished it last month, I said. Client bought 3 more. Damon's smile vanished completely. I took a sip of champagne. Seems like things worked out for all of us. Sure, Lena said softly, eyes darting away. Elena approached then, rescuing me with a smile. Everything okay here? Perfect, I said. As she guided me away, she whispered, That was impressive, I chuckled. You mean awkward? No, she said. That was control. Most people would have made a scene. I looked back at Lena and Damon, frozen in polite smiles. Trust me, I used to be most people. Later that evening, I stepped onto the balcony to breathe. The city lights stretched out below, quiet and endless. Elena joined me. You handled yourself with grace tonight. I wasn't sure I could, I admitted. But seeing them, it didn't hurt like I thought it would. Because you've outgrown them, she said. I nodded slowly. Maybe. Or maybe I finally learned that revenge isn't about getting even. It's about getting better. She smiled. Then consider yourself fully healed. Not yet, I said. But closer. From inside, laughter rose again. Forced, empty, distant. I looked at the reflection in the glass door. A man standing tall, untouched by the ghosts that once ruled him. And for the first time, I realized I didn't need to win them back. I'd already won. Did you hear about Damon Lee? Ryan asked, leaning over my desk. I didn't look up from the blueprint. No, and I don't care, he grinned. You should. His company's under investigation. Fraud, fake investors, the whole mess. I paused, pen hovering. You're serious? Dead serious. Karma's doing overtime this month, I sat back. So the man who took everything from me is finally paying for it. Ryan shrugged. Guess so. You're not smiling, though. I'm not celebrating someone else's downfall, I said, even though deep inside the irony burned like whiskey. I just didn't expect it this soon. Maybe the universe works on your schedule now, he said, smirking. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. It was an internal message from Mr. Harlow. New client assigned. Urgent meeting in conference room A. I gathered my sketches and headed there. When I entered, Mr. Harlow was already seated. Ethan, he said, we've been approached to redesign a commercial space. Big budget, tight deadline. Who's the client? I asked. He adjusted his glasses. Lee Development Group. I froze. You mean Damon Lee? Yes, he said. Apparently they're restructuring, trying to rebrand after the investigation. My chest tightened. You want me to handle it? I want my best architect on it, he said simply. You're the only one I trust with a project this sensitive. I nodded slowly. All right, I'll do it. Ryan later caught me in the hall. You're actually taking it? I am, I said. Not for them, for me, he gave a low whistle. This is gonna be good. 2 days later, I was in the meeting room setting up models when the door opened. I didn't need to look up to know who it was. Ethan, a soft voice said. I looked anyway. Lena stood there, pale, eyes swollen, makeup barely hiding the damage. Lena, I said evenly, I didn't expect to see you. Damon asked me to handle the redesign since our PR team's a mess, she said, fidgeting. I didn't know you'd be the one in charge. Well, I said, life's full of surprises. She took a shaky breath. Can we talk? Privately? I motioned to the chairs. Go ahead, she sat, twisting her fingers. You've probably heard about the investigation. I have, I said. It's Damon made decisions without telling me. I trusted him. I tilted my head. Trust, interesting word, she winced. I deserve that. I'm not here to punish you, I said. I'm here to work. But I need you to understand, she said, voice trembling. I thought I was doing the right thing. Damon promised stability, success. He said you'd never recover. I believed him. Seems you both miscalculated, I said quietly. She looked down. I was wrong. About everything. About you. Silence filled the room, heavy and sharp. I finally said, "What do you want from me, Lena?" Her voice cracked. Forgiveness, I leaned forward. You want forgiveness, or do you just want relief from your guilt? Tears welled in her eyes. Maybe both, I exhaled. You once said I'd never stand again. Look at me now. I see that, she whispered. And it hurts. Good, I said, not cruelly, just honest. Pain teaches what pride hides, she wiped her eyes. You've changed. I had to, I said. You broke me, but you also built the man who replaced me. She stood slowly. I never stopped thinking about you. Then that's your punishment, I said, gathering my files. I stopped thinking about you a long time ago. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. As I walked past her, she whispered, Ethan. I'm sorry, I didn't look back. So am I, just for different reasons. When the door closed behind me, I felt nothing but clarity. Ryan was right. Karma had good timing, and this time, I wasn't the one broken. I didn't plan to see her again. But life had its own twisted humor. It was late evening when the office phone rang. Ethan Cole speaking. Her voice came through, soft and shaking. It's me, Lena, I froze. What do you want? I need to talk, please, I should have hung up. Instead, I said, where? Same cafe we used to go to, tomorrow, 5. I almost laughed. You think that place still means something to me? I don't know, she whispered. But it still means something to me. The line went dead. Ryan looked up from his desk. That sounded like trouble. It was Lena, I said flatly. He raised an eyebrow. You going? I shouldn't, I said. But I will. Closure? He asked. Maybe curiosity, I said. Maybe both. The next day, I walked into that cafe like it was a museum of old ghosts. The smell of roasted coffee, the creak of the wooden floor, it all dragged memories I thought I'd buried. She was already there, sitting by the window, holding a cup she hadn't touched. She looked smaller somehow, tired. The sparkle that once blinded me was gone. Ethan, she said, standing as I approached. You came. I said I would. I didn't think you would. Then why ask? I replied, sitting down. She bit her lip. Because I didn't know where else to go. Try home, I said. You still have one, don't you? With Damon? Her eyes flickered. He's gone. Gone? He left. The company's collapsing. He's hiding from the charges. I leaned back. So that's why you called? No, she said quickly. I called because I needed to tell you the truth. I already know the truth, I said. You chose him. Tears filled her eyes. I made a mistake. Damon wasn't who I thought he was. Neither were you, I said quietly. She reached across the table. Ethan, please, listen. I didn't pull away, but I didn't move closer either. I thought I wanted a life of comfort, she said, voice trembling. Money, status, security. I thought love wasn't enough. But when everything fell apart, when he turned on me, I realized I'd traded something real for something fake. I stayed silent. You were the one who truly loved me, she continued. You believed in me when no one else did. I was too blind to see it. Her voice cracked on the last word. For a second, I almost pitied her. Almost. I used to dream of this moment, I said slowly. You sitting here saying everything I once begged to hear. But now it feels empty. She looked shattered. You don't mean that. I do, I said. Because the man who wanted you back doesn't exist anymore, she wiped her tears. Can't we start over? Please, Ethan, we could try again. We could be happy, I shook my head. Start over? You ended me, Lena. You watched me fall apart and walked away like I was nothing. You don't get to rewrite that, she whispered. I didn't know what I was doing. That's the problem, I said. You never did. Silence stretched between us, heavy and final. The only sound was the hum of the espresso machine behind us. I still love you, she said, her voice breaking. I met her gaze, calm and steady. Then you'll live with that. Just like I lived with losing you, she sobbed quietly. Is there really nothing left? There's peace, I said. And it doesn't include you, I stood up. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. Goodbye, Lena. Her lips trembled. Ethan, please, I turned toward the door. You said once that I'd never recover. You were right about one thing. I didn't. I rebuilt. As I walked out into the cold evening, the weight I'd carried for so long finally lifted. I didn't feel hatred. I didn't feel love, I just felt free. Ethan, have you seen the news? Ryan burst into my office, holding his phone like it was a trophy. I looked up from my sketch pad. What now? He grinned. Damon Lee arrested this morning. Fraud, tax evasion, embezzlement. The whole empire's gone. I leaned back in my chair. So it's finally over, Ryan nodded. And Lena? She's in the headlines too. They're calling her an accomplice, though there's no proof. I sighed. I'm not surprised. You fly too close to greed, you burn with it, he whistled. Man, I remember the day she left you. You were a wreck. Now look at you. New firm, national recognition, interviews lined up. That's karma served cold. I smiled faintly. No, that's growth served quiet. He shook his head. You're too calm about this. I've learned peace doesn't need an audience, I said. Ryan's grin faded. You're a better man than me. I'd have sent her a thank you card for ruining herself. Let her ghost send it for me, I said, turning back to my plans. I've got better things to build. The next few weeks were a blur of meetings, contracts, and praise. My name appeared in magazines. My projects were discussed on design panels, and my phone never stopped ringing. But fame didn't excite me. It centered me. Every headline about Damon's downfall felt like another brick laid in the foundation of my peace. One night, as rain poured over the city, I stayed late at the office. Ryan had gone home, leaving me alone with the sound of thunder and the hum of fluorescent lights. That's when I saw her. Through the glass, outside in the rain, stood Lena, drenched, trembling, her hair clinging to her face. For a moment, I thought I was imagining her. I opened the door. Lena? She flinched at my voice, then looked up. Ethan, what are you doing here? I didn't know where else to go, she said, her voice barely audible beneath the rain. I stepped aside. You shouldn't be out here. She hesitated, then walked in, leaving puddles on the polished floor. I saw your name in the papers, she said softly. You're everywhere now. Interviews, awards, new firm. You did it, I nodded. I did, her eyes glistened. Everything's falling apart for me. Damon's in jail. The house is gone, my name... It's ruined, I folded my arms. So now you understand what ruin feels like. She looked down. I deserve it. I didn't answer. I came to say I'm sorry, she whispered. Not for what happened between us, I already did that. But for what I became, I was chasing something that never existed. Money? I asked. Validation, she said, voice cracking. I thought if I stood next to power, I'd finally matter. But I mattered most when I was with you. Rain tapped against the glass like a soft drumbeat. I said quietly, you mattered because I saw you. But you never saw me, she wiped her face. I see you now, I shook my head. No, Lena, you see the man who survived you. That's different, she took a shaky step back. You hate me. I don't, I said. Hate keeps you tied to the past. I cut that rope a long time ago. Her lips trembled. Then why do you still sound hurt? Because healing doesn't erase scars, I said. It just teaches you to stop bleeding. She looked like she wanted to speak, but no words came. Finally, she said, I'll go. I opened the door again. The rain had softened. Take care of yourself. As she walked away into the storm, I stood watching her disappear down the street. Smaller, slower, finally human. For the first time in years, I felt nothing but peace, and that silence was louder than any revenge could ever be. Elena, you don't have to stay late, I said, glancing at the clock. It's past 9. She looked up from the blueprints, smiling softly. You're still here. Why shouldn't I be? Because unlike me, you probably have a life outside these walls. She raised an eyebrow. You assume I do? I chuckled. I've seen your calendar. You actually schedule lunch breaks. She laughed, a quiet, genuine sound that somehow softened the hum of the office lights. You joke, she said, but I like working with you. You stop pretending everything's fine when it's not. Most people don't. I leaned against the desk. I used to pretend a lot. It's easier to smile than to admit you're broken. She set her pen down. You're not broken, Ethan. You just healed differently. I met her eyes. That sounds like something you tell patients, not coworkers, she shrugged. Maybe, but I mean it. For a moment, silence filled the room. Comfortable, not heavy. I said quietly, "You know, when I first met you, I thought you were just another person passing through." "But you stayed," she smiled. "I stay where I'm needed." I didn't realize I needed anyone, I admitted. Until lately, her gaze softened. Everyone needs someone, even the ones who swear they don't. I exhaled slowly. "You really believe that?" "I do," she said. "And I think you're finally starting to believe it too." We sat in silence again, the rain outside tapping softly against the glass. After a while, I asked, "How do you do it?" "Stay so calm?" She smiled. "I stopped trying to control everything. Life's lighter when you let go of what you can't fix. That's harder than you make it sound." "It is," she said. "But you've done harder things." I tilted my head. "Like what?" "Like forgiving someone who never deserved it. Like rebuilding yourself when you could have stayed bitter." Her words hit deeper than I expected. "You've been paying attention." "Always," she said simply. "You think I didn't notice how your shoulders relax when you talk about designing, or how your tone changes when you mention hope?" I smiled faintly. Hope used to feel like a cruel joke. And now? Now it feels like something I might deserve. She nodded, her expression warm. "You do." For the first time in years, I didn't feel the need to hide behind sarcasm. "You know, Elena, I don't say this often, but I'm grateful for you." "You don't have to thank me for being here," she said. "I want to be." Her words lingered in the air like a soft melody. I asked quietly, "Do you ever think about starting over?" "With work?" she teased. "With life," I said. She leaned closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "Every day." But I stopped waiting for the right time. I just started living again. Something in her tone cracked open a part of me I'd buried under ambition and scars. "Elena," I said, "I spent so long chasing closure that I forgot what peace felt like." She smiled gently. "Peace isn't found in endings. It's in the people who make staying feel easy." I stared at her for a moment. "You make it sound simple." "It is," she said. "You just have to stop running from the good things." I laughed softly. "You might be one of them." "Then stop running," she said. I didn't. I stayed. We talked until midnight, about work, old wounds, and the strange comfort of being seen without needing to perform. When she stood to leave, she touched my hand briefly. "You don't have to carry the past forever, Ethan." And for the first time, I believed her. Love didn't feel like a battlefield anymore. It felt like coming home. The letter arrived on a Tuesday. No name on the front. But I recognized the handwriting instantly. Elegant, practiced, the same curves that once traced my skin. I stared at it for a long time before opening it. "Ethan," it began. I don't know where to start. Maybe with sorry. I read each word slowly, hearing her voice in my head. "I know I hurt you. I thought I wanted more, but I didn't realize I already had everything." I leaned back in my chair, the city lights flickering against the window. My reflection looked calm, detached. "Too late, Lena," I whispered. Ryan walked in, holding a cup of coffee. "You look like you just read bad news." I held up the letter. "Depends how you define bad," he frowned. "Her?" "Yeah, says she finally understands what she lost." Ryan set the cup down. "And what did you say?" "Nothing," he raised an eyebrow. "Nothing?" "Silence says more than anything I could write," Ryan smirked. "You've changed, man. A year ago, you'd have written a 5-page reply and still apologized." "I know," I said. "That guy's gone." He nodded approvingly. "So what now?" I looked out the window again. "Now I live." Ryan clapped my shoulder. "Proud of you, brother. Took you long enough." After he left, I reread the last part of the letter. If I could turn back time, I'd choose you. I'd choose the nights we laughed over nothing. I'd choose the man who believed in me when no one else did. My chest didn't tighten like it used to. "No ache, no anger, just distance," I whispered. "You made your choice, Lena." My phone buzzed. Elena. "Hey," she said when I answered. "You sound far away." "Just thinking," I replied. "About her?" About who I used to be. Elena was quiet for a moment. And who are you now? I smiled faintly. Someone who finally stopped chasing ghosts, she chuckled. Good, because I like the man who's here now. Yeah? I teased. Yeah. He laughs more. I laughed softly. He had a good teacher. Then keep learning, she said. We hung up and I placed the letter on my desk. For a second, I thought about throwing it away. Instead, I folded it carefully and slid it into a drawer. Closure deserved a place, just not on display. A knock at the door pulled me back. Mr. Harlow peeked in. Ethan, the firm loved your proposal for the Skyline project. They want you to lead it. Seriously? He grinned. You earned it. You've grown, son. Keep it up. Thank you, I said, and meant it. When he left, I looked at the city again, the one that never stopped moving. Even when I did, I thought of Lena's letter, her regret dripping between every line, and for the first time, I didn't feel like the victim of her story. I was the author of mine. My mind drifted back to the night she walked out. I remembered begging her to stay, thinking love meant never giving up. But love, real love, wasn't about clinging. It was about choosing yourself when the world didn't. The skyline shimmered, reflecting the life I'd built piece by piece. My phone buzzed again. A message from Elena. Dinner tonight? You've earned a break, I typed back. Wouldn't miss it. For a moment, I looked at the letter once more. I could almost see Lena writing it, her tears smudging the ink. Her mind racing through what-ifs that no longer mattered. She'd finally seen my worth, just too late to deserve it. I stood, adjusting my jacket, ready to leave the office. As I turned off the lights, I said quietly, You got your answer? Lena, silence is forever. Outside, the night was calm, the city alive. I walked toward it without looking back. I wasn't the man she left anymore. I was the man she could never reach again. And that was enough.